Leah Montgomery had always believed that blood ran thicker than water, that the bond she shared with her identical twin, Maya, was unbreakable. From the day they emerged, two halves of one soul, Leah and Maya had conquered first crushes, college heartbreaks, and the dizzying rush of adulthood side by side. Leah married Daniel Bennett on a sunlit terrace, her brother-in-law of old, while Maya danced at the reception, vowing to support her sister's happiness above all else. But sometimes, the most sacred promises hide the deepest betrayals. It was a humid June evening when Leah first felt the tremor beneath her perfect world. Returning home from a long day as a pediatric nurse, she found Maya in the garden, eyes downcast, humming a fractured version of their childhood lullaby. Normally, that melody was a signal of joy, Maya's impromptu serenade. Tonight, it sounded like a confession. Leah's pulse quickened. "Maya, what's wrong?" Maya lifted her face, tears pooling in her emerald green eyes. She opened her mouth, then closed it as if a dam had sprung a leak. Finally, in a voice barely above a whisper, she said, "It's Daniel." Leah froze. Daniel, the man she'd trusted with her heart, who'd introduced Maya to her now husband as my greatest friend. Daniel, whose laughter once illuminated Maya's eyes. What could she possibly have to say about him? When Maya looked up, her emerald gaze flickered with guilt and longing. "I'm in love with him." Leah staggered back as if struck. The world blurred, the scent of jasmine, the distant honk of traffic, the soft rustle of olive trees. "You, what?" Her voice cracked. Maya had to be joking, but the tremor in her twin's shoulders, the raw ache in her eyes, told a darker truth. In that electric moment, Leah felt everything shift. The foundation of her marriage, the unspoken pact between sisters, even her sense of self. She made a silent vow. No matter what, she would protect her heart and her family against this illicit betrayal. From that night on, the Montgomery home became a battleground of secrets. Late-night footsteps in upstairs hallways, hushed phone calls in the garden, stolen glances across candle-lit dinners. Leah's suspicions grew into obsession. Mismatched perfume scents, a stray button from Maya's blouse, the faint impression of lipstick on Daniel's collar. Yet every time Leah confronted Maya, her twin's tears and whispered apologies ignited a spark of compassion. Maya was family, her other half, but family shouldn't betray. And Daniel, he was Leah's husband. How could affection for one become an affair with the other? As the weeks passed, the stakes escalated. Leah caught Daniel and Maya in a stolen embrace beneath the old magnolia tree, petals drifting like damning evidence. Maya begged for forgiveness. Daniel swore he would end it, but the allure, the forbidden passion, pulled them back like twin currents of desire. Leah's heart shredded between revenge and mercy, between love and rage. She organized family gatherings to catch them in the act. She confided in her closest friend, Olivia, only to learn that even Emma, her mother-in-law, suspected something amiss. In the end, Leah faced an impossible choice: expose them both in a public spectacle, shattering her marriage and her sister's life, or swallow her pain, hold her family together, and bury the truth beneath a facade of normalcy. But some truths refused to stay hidden. In the echo of Maya's confession, Leah heard a darker question. Is blood thicker than betrayal, or does love to drown it entirely? Tonight, as Leah stands at the edge of this abyss, standing between loyalty and destruction, she realizes that there is no safe place to hide. And in the silent hush before dawn, she prepares to fight for everything she holds dear, even if it means tearing her own heart asunder. Long before love and betrayal entered their lives, Leah and Maya Montgomery were inseparable, a study in mirrored grace. Born minutes apart on a misty autumn morning, they emerged into the world swaddled identically, down to the curl of their dark hair and the curious glint in their chocolate-brown eyes. Their earliest memories were shared rituals, bedtime stories whispered in unison, secret handshakes rehearsed under bunk bed sheets, and glittering fairy wings fashioned from grandmother's lace. At age 5, they discovered the old oak tree in their backyard, a gnarled sentinel whose broad limbs became their castle, spaceship, and dance floor. There, they vowed to face everything side by side, scraped knees, lost friendships, and the promise that, no matter what, their bond would outlast time. Their parents nurtured that unity. Weekend mornings held pancake feasts, with each twin flipping their own pancake. Leah's always a perfect circle, Maya's a whimsical heart. On summer afternoons, they learned to ride bikes together, holding hands until confidence soared. Their laughter rang through the neighborhood, a shared soundtrack of innocent joy. School brought new dimensions, but the twins remained each other's anchor. When Leah struggled with algebra, Maya explained the mysteries of equations in creative rhymes. When Maya fretted over spelling tests, Leah quizzed her gently until every word stuck. Teachers marveled at their synchronicity, shared handwriting styles, matching reading speeds, and the uncanny knack for finishing each other's sentences. By adolescence, subtle differences emerged. Leah gravitated toward caregiving, organizing study groups, volunteering at the local animal shelter, and absorbing her mother's warmth as she practiced nursing skills. Maya's spirit pulsed with rebellious creativity, scribbling poetry in class margins, choreographing dance routines in her bedroom mirror, and sketching fashion designs on every scrap of paper. Yet these contrasts only deepened their devotion. They celebrated each other's passions. Leah applauded Maya's first fashion show for neighborhood friends. Maya cradled the beagle puppies Leah helped rescue. They shared secrets beneath the oak's rustling canopy, dreams of future careers, confessions of childhood fears, and whispered plans to travel the world together. When Leah announced her engagement to Daniel Bennett, her high school sweetheart turned college friend, Maya was the first to embrace her, tears of joy mingling with laughter. Together, they planned a sunlit terrace wedding, twin themes of blossoms for Leah, wildflowers for Maya, and vows whispered beneath a canopy of roses and ivy. Maya's role as maid of honor was both honor and heartache. She reveled in her sister's happiness, stitching lace into Leah's gown with meticulous care, while hiding a budding ache deep in her chest, a wistful longing she dismissed as fleeting. College years separated them geographically, but not emotionally. Late-night video calls became lifelines. Care packages of homemade cookies and fashion sketches reminded them of home. Leah wrote daily letters about her nursing rotations. Maya sent self-penned zines chronicling her art school adventures. They planned reunions down to the minute, each arrival a chance to reunite under the old oak's shade, or in their childhood bedroom filled with shared memories. In those golden years, no storm seemed too fierce. But underneath the surface of their smiling selfies and synchronized calendars, a quiet tension stirred, a longing in Maya's heart that she neither understood nor dared voice. For though she adored Leah's happiness, she sensed a shadow creeping between them, an unspoken question of what might happen if one twin's world eclipsed the other's. Yet in this chapter of their lives, such doubts belonged in fairy tales, not in the steady rhythm of sisterhood. As graduation neared and real-world responsibilities beckoned, Leah and Maya made one final promise beneath the oak's autumn leaves. We will always be each other's home. Unaware that, in the seasons to come, home might become the very place where their greatest betrayal takes root. Daniel Bennett was the kind of man who seemed to belong in Leah's childhood daydreams, tall, kind-eyed, and steady as the oak under which the twins first vowed eternal sisterhood. He'd grown up 2 blocks away, the only child of a local dentist, and as neighbors they'd traded trading card battles, science fair alliances, and eventually first loves. When Leah and Daniel reunited at their 10-year high school reunion, it felt like destiny's gentle nudge, sparks rekindled, laughter rediscovered, and long-awaited soulmate recognition. By 27, Leah wore Daniel's class ring on a slender chain. By 29, they stood before family and friends beneath a rose-draped gazebo, pledging their lives to each other. Daniel's warmth and unwavering loyalty made him beloved by Leah's parents, and by Maya, who teased that Daniel was her sister's lifelong shield. For his part, Daniel adored both twins equally. He marveled at Leah's compassion and honored Maya's creativity, glimpsing in their bond a rare testament to love and loyalty. After marriage, Leah and Daniel settled into a cozy townhouse adjacent to the Montgomerys' family home. Sunday dinners became trio traditions: Leah's roasted chicken, Daniel's hearty storytelling, and Maya's whimsical dessert creations. On birthdays, all three exchanged thoughtful gifts. Leah favored practical tokens, Maya handcrafted sentimental keepsakes, and Daniel found a balance, showing his deep understanding of both their hearts. It was during these gatherings that subtle tensions first flickered. Maya noticed the way Daniel's eyes lingered on her when he thought no one watched, or the gentle brush of his hand against hers when passing the gravy boat. She dismissed her stirrings. Daniel was Leah's husband, and her sister's happiness was paramount. Yet a seed had been planted, one that sprouted in quiet moments: a lingering glance across the table, unexpected comfort in a rough patch, a shared laughter that seemed to exclude Leah's presence. Meanwhile, Leah immersed herself in her nursing career, often on late-night rounds at the children's hospital. Daniel supported her, tirelessly bringing home coffee, sending text check-ins, and driving her to shifts when her car was in the shop. Maya, returning from art residencies abroad, felt a pang of envy as she watched their seamless teamwork. She reminded herself that love between spouses was sacred, and that her place was at Leah's side, not in Daniel's arms. Yet fate, with its mischievous undertow, had other plans. At Leah's 31st birthday brunch, as Daniel congratulated her on her recent promotion, and Sarah, Leah's best friend, led a toast, Maya felt a sudden surge of something more than sisterly affection, an electric longing she'd never known. She excused herself to check her phone, only to hear Daniel's voice behind her. "Hey, are you okay?" She turned, startled by his concerned frown, so reminiscent of everything she loved in him. In that heartbeat, her restraint faltered. She smiled awkwardly, blinking back the unexpected warmth in her chest. "Just tired," she lied softly. He offered his arm as they returned to the table. Maya murmured her thanks, but inside her mind a new, dangerous question echoed. Could Daniel ever see her as more than Leah's devoted partner? The first true spark of the illicit ignited on a rain-soaked evening when Maya agreed to join Daniel for a charity planning session at his firm's conference room. Leah had been called in for an emergency at the hospital. Maya volunteered to fill in, thinking it a harmless gesture. They worked late, the glow of laptop screens reflecting in the rain-spattered windows. As Daniel outlined logistics, Maya found herself leaning forward, drawn into his earnest enthusiasm. When he reached over to point at a spreadsheet, their hands brushed. Both froze, breath hitching. Daniel withdrew quickly, cheeks flushed. "Sorry," he muttered. "I didn't mean to startle you." Maya's heart thundered. "It's okay." They returned to work, but the air had shifted. In the elevator ride down, Daniel offered her his umbrella for the walk home. Rain pelted outside as Maya accepted, their shoulders brushing under the open canopy. "Thank you," she said, voice husky. He found her gaze and held it for a moment too long. "Maya, you're a good friend." She exhaled softly, the warmth of his words igniting a thrill she hadn't anticipated. "You're a good friend too." Over the following weeks, these chances multiplied. Shared coffee runs, text message check-ins on Leah's behalf, and stolen encouragements when deadlines loomed. Each interaction deepened Maya's yearning and Daniel's concern, blurring the lines of friendship. One afternoon, Maya discovered Daniel waiting outside her art studio as she packed up canvases. Concerned, he explained he'd heard about a toxic spill at her workspace and wanted to ensure she was okay. His genuine worry tugged at her core. You didn't have to do that, Maya whispered, eyes glistening. Of course I did, he replied, his tone soft. I care about you. Maya's breath caught. In that moment, she sensed his meaning went beyond empathy, an unspoken desire that mirrored her own. She looked away, troubled by the warmth flooding her cheeks. The boundaries they had carefully maintained began to yield under the weight of unspoken longing. Each moment together felt electric and forbidden, a dance on a razor's edge that promised both bliss and devastation. Meanwhile, Leah's suspicion simmered in the background. She noticed Maya's late arrivals home. The faint scent of Daniel's cologne on her jacket, and the hush that fell when Daniel's name appeared on Maya's phone screen. But Leah dismissed her fears. Maya would never betray her, and Daniel would never betray their vows. Yet, as the rain pattered, Maya and Daniel found themselves caught in a storm of emotions neither could fully control. The accident happened on a night meant for celebration. Maya's first solo gallery show had drawn local acclaim, vibrant canvases alive with colour and emotion. Daniel and Leah had attended together, Leah beaming with pride as Maya unveiled her pieces. Daniel offered a heartfelt toast to Maya Montgomery, whose art reminds us of beauty in brokenness. Applause thundered. In the warm glow of gallery lights and congratulatory smiles, Maya felt on top of the world. Leah embraced her, whispering, I knew you'd shine. Daniel smiled, wrapping an arm around Leah's shoulders, before turning back to congratulate Maya again. Later, as the crowd thinned, Daniel found Maya alone by her favorite painting, a sweeping forest scene. He pulled her into a hug. I'm so proud of you, he murmured. She closed her eyes, savoring the moment. Thank you. When he hesitated, she looked up into his eyes, windows to his conflicted heart. His gaze lingered, charged with something that transcended pride. Fearful yet drawn, Maya leaned in. Their lips brushed in a tentative kiss. Immediate regret and fierce desire collided within her. Daniel's hand trembled against her back as he broke the kiss. Oh God, Maya, I'm so sorry. Maya stepped back, heart pounding. No. She placed a finger on his lips. Don't apologize. His eyes filled with turmoil. This is wrong. Leah, my wife. She gripped his arm. I know, but I can't pretend those feelings aren't real. He looked at her, torn between duty and longing. I care about you, more than I should. Maya's breath hitched. And I care about you. In that charged silence, they crossed a line neither could uncross. Months of stolen glances, gentle touches, and mutual care culminated in a single fraught moment of reckoning. The next morning, guilt and fear shadowed Maya's features as she returned home. Leah met her in the kitchen, coffee cup in hand. Everything okay? Leah asked, studying her sister's pale face. Maya forced a smile. Just tired. Leah frowned but let it pass. Maya cradled her latte, the warmth searing her palm like a reminder of what she had done. Each sip tasted of betrayal. Over the following days, Maya and Daniel tried to reclaim normalcy, carefully curated interactions at family dinners, and polite distance in text exchanges. But the undercurrent of their forbidden love made every moment electric. Leah's suspicions flared, Maya's guarded phone, Daniel's distracted apologies, and the lingering tension during meals. One evening, Leah arrived home early from a shift and found the front door ajar. Inside, she heard hushed voices in the study, Daniel's and Maya's. Fear constricted her chest. She crept forward, heart pounding, and peered around the corner. Maya sat on Daniel's lap, arms clasped around his neck, their faces inches apart. The sight ripped Leah's guts in two. She retreated silently, tears stinging as she closed the door behind her. In her bedroom mirror, Leah saw betrayal reflected, a sister she adored and a husband she trusted entwined in a lie. The world she knew fractured in that moment, leaving jagged edges of grief and fury. Leah's world, after that night, felt shattered. Every familiar corner of her home, her husband's study, the kitchen table, even the garden bench beneath the oak, trembled with echoes of betrayal. Yet she knew she couldn't snap at Maya or Daniel without evidence. She needed proof, not just gut instinct. Over the next days, Leah moved through her shifts at the children's hospital with mechanical precision, heart pounding at every text ping. She rehearsed confrontations in her mind, but reality always fled before her words. Maya's anguished eyes, Daniel's shameful pleas, the shared history that bound them. At home, family dinners became battlegrounds. Leah sat across from them, smiling politely as Daniel and Maya exchanged furtive glances. When she suggested doing laundry together or reorganizing old photo albums, they agreed, too readily, and the silence that followed was deafening. One evening, Leah enlisted her best friend and colleague, Nurse Olivia Chen, to look for signs of stress on Maya. "She's been closed off," Leah confided. "I think something's going on with Daniel." Olivia's brow furrowed. "Are you sure? Could it be work stress?" Leah shook her head. "It's deeper. I just know." That night, Leah crept back into the study where she'd first witnessed the affair. She rifled through Maya's sketchbook, its pages once bursting with fashion designs, now littered with anguished words and coded love letters. "I can't stop thinking about your touch under the gallery lights. Each time I hear your voice, I'm undone." Her breath caught. She snapped photographs with her phone, legal counsel's voice echoing, "Document everything." The next day, Leah invited Daniel for coffee, under the pretense of discussing home repairs. In the corner booth of their favorite cafe, she slid the printed emails across the table. "Explain these," she pressed. Daniel stared, face ashen. "Leah, please don't do this." "Don't do what?" she asked, voice hollow. "Catch my husband and sister having an affair." His lips quivered. "I made a terrible mistake." "Mistake?" Leah's eyes flamed. "Maya told me everything. She confessed in the garden." Daniel's gaze dropped. "I didn't want to hurt you." "Then stop lying," Leah barked, tears stinging. She felt the cafe's other patrons turn. "We're done, or we're honest." Daniel swallowed. "Okay, I'll be honest." He reached for her hand, but Leah pulled away. The rift lay bare. Her sister's tears, her husband's guilt, and her own shattered trust. Beneath the harsh fluorescence of that cafe, Leah understood that loyalties had irrevocably shifted. Leah knew she held the upper hand, proof in hand, confession heard. Yet exposing the affair would ripple across the entire family. She wrestled with duty to truth versus the devastation such a revelation would bring. Her first move was to confront her mother, Margaret Montgomery. As dusk deepened, Leah arrived at her childhood home, breath visible in the chilly autumn air. She found her mother lighting candles in the living room, the soft glow illuminating family portraits. "Mum," Leah began, voice trembling. Margaret turned, concern blooming in her eyes. "Leah, what's wrong?" Leah pressed the sketchbook pages into her mother's hands. "Read, then understand why I can't stay silent." Margaret's hands shook as she scanned the words. Whispers of betrayal fluttered in the hush. She sank onto the sofa, eyes glistening. "Your sister, Daniel?" "Both," Leah whispered. "They think they love each other, but what about us? What about me?" Margaret rose and enveloped Leah in a fierce hug. "I'm so sorry, darling." Together, they plotted the exposure. Leah would share evidence with Margaret and Olivia first, then stage a family intervention under the guise of a birthday dinner for Maya. The night of the intervention, Leah's father, Robert, grilled steaks on the grill while Margaret prepared sides. Leah set the table with extra care, her heart hammering as she arranged place cards. Leah, Maya, Daniel, Mom, Dad, and Olivia. Maya arrived in a flowing emerald dress, cheeks rosy. She hugged their parents, then Leah, eyes flickering with guilt. Daniel appeared next, tie loosened, collar slightly askew, like a man who'd lost sleep. Leah watched his eyes drop when they met hers. Over roasted vegetables and laughter, Leah waited for the precise moment. When conversation lulled, she stood. "I'd like to propose a toast," Leah said, raising her wine glass. Silence fell. "To family, our most sacred connection." She slid Maya's sketchbook and Daniel's printed emails across the table. The room froze. "What is this?" Maya whispered, voice cracking. "Proof of your affair," Leah said, tears brimming. "You confessed to me weeks ago in the garden. I wanted to give you both a chance to explain, together." Maya's lips trembled. Daniel's eyes glazed. Margaret's hands flew to her mouth. Robert set down his plate, shock etching his features. "How long?" Margaret asked softly. "Months," Maya sobbed. "We tried to stop. We couldn't." "Stop!" Leah spat, voice sharp. "Stop betraying me." Daniel's voice trembled as he stood. "Leah, please." "No," Leah interrupted. "You both need to face what you've done." Maya sank to the floor. Daniel's shoulders heaved. Margaret wrapped her arms around her twin as Robert dropped to his knees beside them. Leah stepped back, her own tears falling as the family's foundation cracked. In the quiet aftermath, Leah found herself alone in the echoing halls of her childhood home. The oak's gnarled silhouette loomed outside the window, its branches a silent witness to the night's revelations, Maya's confession, Daniel's apology, her parents' stunned grief, all replayed in Leah's mind like a waking nightmare. She retreated to the guest room, cradling Maya's sketchbook and Daniel's letters like talismans of betrayal. Outside, rain tapped against the panes. Inside, Leah's tears fell in silent tribute to a life she once knew. Morning light brought no comfort. Leah called in sick to the hospital and spent hours wandering their garden, chest tightening with each memory. Daniel's first proposal, Maya's fashion show debut, Sunday dinners under strings of lanterns. By afternoon, Leah's resolve hardened. She texted Maya, "We need to talk, face to face." At the old gazebo where Leah and Daniel had wed, the sisters met under grey skies. Maya's eyes glistened. "Leah, I'm so sorry." Leah swallowed. "Sorry doesn't fix this." She placed the sketchbook on a bench. "You chose him over me." Maya's voice cracked. "I never wanted to hurt you. It just happened." Leah's hand hovered over Maya's. "I loved you as my other half, but you broke our bond." Maya sank to her knees. "I know. I'll go. Move away if I must. Please forgive me someday." Leah stepped back, tears burning. "I can't right now. Maybe never." She turned and walked away, each step carrying the weight of a shattered sisterhood. Picking up the pieces, Leah moved into a small apartment downtown, close to the hospital, but far from memories. She focused on her patients, channeling grief into care, soothing children's fears, guiding parents through crises, and finding solace in service. Maya packed her studio and left for her aunt's home in another state, promising distance. She sent occasional postcards, sketches of sunsets and apologies scrawled in ink, but Leah never replied. Daniel, barred from the Montgomery home, sought therapy and support groups for betrayed spouses. He volunteered at a local youth center, trying to rebuild his sense of purpose. Yet every reflection in a window or mirror reminded him of Leah's hurt face. Margaret and Robert Montgomery leaned on each other, counseling sessions, healing parental wounds. Family dinners became video calls, warm but distant, where they shared updates on Leah's recovery and Maya's art commissions. A glimmer of hope. 6 months later, Leah received an envelope embossed with Maya's handwriting. Inside, "Dear Leah, I'm not the same person I was. Every canvas now carries your color, every poem your name. I've sought help, faced my mistakes, and learned that pain can be a teacher. I'm not asking for forgiveness, only that you know I'm trying to be worthy of the sister I lost. Love always, Maya." Leah held the note against her heart. In that quiet moment, she felt the first flicker of something she hadn't dared hope. Forgiveness, for herself, for Maya, for the love that had led them astray. Expert advice. Corner healing from infidelity and sibling betrayal. Seek professional support. Couples. Therapist. If both parties are willing, therapy can rebuild communication and trust or guide an amicable separation. Individual counseling. For personal healing, work with a psychologist experienced in infidelity trauma and family dynamics. Establish clear boundaries. Separate living spaces. Physical distance can help each person process emotions without daily triggers. Communication protocols. Agree on when and how to discuss emotional topics to prevent impulsive confrontations. Rebuild self-worth. Self-care practices. Prioritize sleep hygiene, balanced nutrition, and regular exercise to stabilize mood. Support networks. Lean on trusted friends, support groups, or faith communities that validate your experience. Navigate sibling rivalry. Honest dialogue. When ready, initiate a structured conversation with your sibling, possibly mediated by a counselor. Define new relationship terms. Agree on ways to interact that respect emotional boundaries and avoid past triggers. Rediscover personal purpose, professional focus. Channel energy into meaningful work or creative projects that reaffirm your identity. New goals. Set short and long-term goals, travel, education, or hobbies that inspire forward momentum. Tip: healing is non-linear. Allow yourself setbacks, celebrate small victories, and remember that choosing self-compassion is never a betrayal of others. Hour to the next saga. Late one evening, as Leah prepared for a rare weekend visit home, she discovered an unmarked file on her phone, sent from an unknown number. Opening it revealed a faded photograph. Two women standing back to back under the oak tree, their features eerily identical, but clothed in sisterly defiance rather than unity. A single message scrolled beneath. Blood holds secret older than time. Are you ready to meet your half-sister? Leah's breath caught. A half-sister, another branch of her family tree, hidden in darkness. The revelation promised new betrayals, new alliances, and a test of loyalty stronger than any she had faced. Next up, shadowed kin, where sisterhood secrets run deeper than a single betrayal, and the darkest blood ties a weight in the shadows.